Hello and happy Wednesday, team. I'm so excited to be on here with you guys today. Since today is a holiday with Halloween, we are going to take off of our team call tonight. I know that several of us are heading to church events, or maybe you're trick-or-treating with your kids in your neighborhood, or maybe you don't celebrate Halloween and you're headed to go bowling or do something with your family. Wherever you're at with it, we're just going to take this week off because I know for me personally, we are heading to a church event and we are going to be trick-or-treating, and so I wanted to really just give everyone tonight off to go celebrate and be with their families and friends. And so I wanted to take some time today and just do a really quick kind of live training for you guys because God's just been really working. And He's been laying some things on my heart that I feel, would really benefit you guys, but also just maybe that you need to hear them, and things that I also need to remind myself. And so tonight's topic is, do you feel stuck? And I've heard from several coaches, no matter where you are in the business, I'm 4.5 years in, and there are moments when I'll be totally honest with you guys, I feel stuck. So no matter if you just started this business yesterday, or maybe you're 4.5 years in like I am, but maybe you feel stuck. Maybe there's something that has been happening in your business or something that's not been happening in your business, or you just feel zero traction. You're not getting messages back. You don't feel fulfilled in what you're doing. You feel like you've lost your purpose in it, and you really just feel stuck. So today I'm going to talk about 5 things that I believe will cause you to feel stuck in this business. And we're really going to touch on some of the things that kind of come into play with a holy hustle, right? We talk about this a lot in the upLIFT tribe. We have a whole training on it for brand new coaches, the Holy Hustle Academy. But really this idea of giving our best, showing up, giving this business everything we have, not everything we have in the sense of not having boundaries, but everything in the sense of when we're working, and we're hustling in that. But also trusting God with those results, resting in Him, sitting back and saying, God, I surrender. I will work hard for you, but I also surrender the results of what is going to happen. And so that kind of leads me to my first point. If you are feeling stuck, it may be because, number one, you're deluding yourself. So I want you to ask yourself right now, are you deluding yourself? Are you trying to show up in this business and be somebody else? I've had so many conversations with coaches on our team who say, well, I'm trying to write devotionals every day, but it's just so hard and it just doesn't come to me. And I say to them, don't write devotionals. If it's not something that God has put on your heart that you feel super passionate about, that literally just like sets your soul on fire, that you're just like, okay, boom, wrote that, posted that, then maybe that's not for you. Maybe that's not where God's calling you. Don't try to be me in this business, guys. Like, I want you to know that I don't want you under my wing. I want you to go out there and be you. Patrice and I had this conversation a few months ago when we came back from Summit, and she said, Caroline, I need to get out from under your wing. I need to quit trying to be you in this business, and I need to go be Patrice. And I said, Patrice, I want you to go do that. And that's my prayer for all of you guys. Like, don't dilute yourself, because guess what? Your customers will see it. It will not feel authentic if you are not being true to you. Share what God's put on your heart. Share what you're passionate about. Share how God's showing up in your life. Share how you've overcome certain struggles in your fitness. Share how eating healthy is hard for you and little tips and tricks on how you're trying to be better. Like, show up to your audience, but don't dilute the person that you are. Don't try to be Michelle Myers. Don't try to be Liz Patton. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Ashley Smith. Don't try to be any other coaches. If you need to unfollow people, do it. I follow people, but that's because for me, it doesn't make me want to go be like them. It really, I've gotten to a place where I'm very confident in who I am and what God has called me to do with this business, and I can cheer them on. But don't dilute yourself, okay? I need you to hear that, because you will feel like a fake and a phony, and you will be stuck in this business because you're so focused on trying to do it like everyone else does it. We got to get out of the Beachbody bubble. I've been making a point to listen to other network marketing gurus because I want to know what they're doing in doTERRA. I want to know what the leader of this other network marketing company is doing. I want to learn from them because they've got amazing things to bring to the table too. And I don't want to do everything like everybody else in the Beachbody bubble does. And so you've got to figure out who you are and the message that God has called you to tell. And you cannot dilute who God has made you to be. And we all have different purposes. We all have different passions within this business. You may see me talking about 2B Mindset all the time because I love 2B Mindset. But guess what? 2B Mindset may not be the program for you. Maybe you really love the portion control containers. Like, be true to who you are. Don't try to be me. Don't try to talk about 2B Mindset if you don't even like 2B Mindset, or if you've never even tried 2B Mindset. People can see fake from a mile away. And a lot of times, this kind of goes into diluting yourself, but if you're feeling stuck, it may be that you're just not showing up in your own health and fitness. And that's got to be the first thing that you're going to do, because how do you expect to look back and lead someone else to where you are right now if you're not even showing up? If you're not even putting in the work, if you're not even drinking Shakeology, if you're not even using the performance line, how do you expect someone else to say, yes, Carolyn, I want to join your challenge group. I want to get fit and healthy if I'm not doing that myself, because then I'm being fake. It's kind of like if I'm hosting a Bible study group and I say, all right, ladies, tonight we're going to be covering off on Hosea. They show up, it's chapters 1 through 5. They've got their notes. They've done their Bible study. They slipped away this week because they wanted to show up and they wanted to be prepared. But they get there and I haven't even done mine. And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I like totally ran out of time. I have no time in my day. And they're like, seriously, Caroline, you're leading us in a Bible study, but you didn't even do the homework. And that might sound like a silly example, but it's just true, guys. If you want for people to trust you, you've got to show up, because they're not going to put their trust in you. They're not going to ask you to join a challenge group. They're not going to say, yes, I'm all in, if you're not showing up yourself. And that's why on Instagram stories, we're sharing our workouts. We're showing up because we want them to see that we live this thing out. And so the number one thing you should be doing is investing in your own self and your own health and fitness. Look, I get that some people, you don't have a lot of extra money to be able to pay for certain things, month to month. But the fact of the matter is that I don't even think about Shakeology as being a business expense. People will say, it's so expensive to do this business, because you have to stay active. And I'm like, actually, no. That's just me investing in my own health and fitness. Because how am I going to lead other people if I'm not investing in my own health and fitness? I don't pay a $50 service fee every month to be a coach. I spend $50 on products I believe in. And so it's really about changing that mindset. So that's number one, guys. If you are feeling stuck, it may be that you are not being true to you. You're not being true to your own health and fitness. And maybe you are deluding yourself and you're not spreading your wings to be you. Number two, are you truly showing up for others? Many times when we start to feel fake or unauthentic or stuck in this business, it's because we have lost the heart of why we came here in the first place. And I see this happen all the time, guys, and it honestly breaks my heart. And it's happened with me before. I've been there, where I have been so excited and so focused on the goal of wanting to be able to stay at home, of knowing that I need to bring these rock star coaches onto my team, of trying so hard to push my goals on them or to hit a Success Club number that I forget about the person on the other side of that number. And so if that's you, if that's where you're at, surrender. Ask God, Lord, I don't want this to be about the number. Is it a numbers game? Yes, in some ways, because you've got to talk to people if you want to have people join you. And you've got to have goals or you're not going to probably push yourself. That's me. I can sit back and be so lazy, guys, if I don't have something to push for. That's just my personality. I can kind of go both ways. Like I could get super complacent. And so I have to have something to push for. Otherwise, I won't push myself. But I have to make sure that I am not taking away from really serving and giving to people. Now, first, hear this. There is a difference in giving, and never, ever, ever having someone reciprocate, right? Like if I'm working with a coach and I'm constantly showing up on the phone with them and constantly, training them, but every time we get on the phone, they haven't done any of the things that we talked about last week, then at some point I'm going to have to stop giving. Does it make sense? There has to be some investment from their side of things. But we have to make sure, first off, that we're serving and giving to our paying customers first, right? Like if they invested in you, you have an investment that you need to make in them. Because that's why coaching came to be. When they said yes to you, when they purchased that challenge pack, you said, yes, I will help you get the results. And I have had coaches so many times who get these people plugged in, and in a few months in, they're not even talking to those people anymore. Guys, you don't walk away from customers. You keep serving them. But you've got to find ways that you can give without overstepping the boundaries of your family or pushing your own agenda on them. You've got to make sure that you're helping them do what you said you would help them do. Whether that's losing 5 pounds or starting a health and fitness business. Like, you've got to show up. But the second that you start to push your goals on other people or push your own agenda, it will end up leaving you feeling empty. But when you can get on a phone with a mom who says that she earned $500 extra this month and she's a single mom and she got to go take that money to do some really fun stuff with her kids that month, that's when you know you won. That's when you know you lived out your calling. Number 3. Do you have systems? You're going to feel stuck in this business if you don't have systems in place in your business. And so I want to share with you guys a few of the systems that I have in my business that really have helped me push my business forward. Because the idea is that you want to have systems in your business that help you work smarter, not harder. Do you hear that? That help you work smarter, not harder. My goal for you guys is not that you're staying up till 11 o'clock at night working this business. Are there people out there like Tony Robbins who say, hey, I figured out how I can sleep 4 hours a night? That's not what I want to do. Like, I like sleeping. I do. I think rest is important for your body. But I think you can put systems into place that are going to help you when you sit down to actually work, be super focused, be super productive, and get as much done as you can. And so I want to dive really quickly into a few of the systems that I have personally put into place. And so one of the systems that I have recently put into place is having something that I'm specifically doing every single day. And that way I kind of know, like, this is today's theme, right? So for me right now, Mondays are when I really schedule out my posts for the next week. I used to do this on Fridays, and Fridays have just become very busy, and really, I'm already wanting to walk into the weekend on Fridays, and I typically have a lot on my plate for my full-time job. And so the idea of actually sitting down and scheduling out like really good content for the next week is just not happening. And so this gives me the weekend to kind of think about it and chew on it in my mind, like, what, God, are you preparing my heart for next week? And so on Mondays, I am sitting down and I'm literally scheduling out all of my posts for my Instagram and my Facebook and all of my groups. And so this week, every single one of my Instagram posts was planned out on Planoly, 2 a day, morning and night. And I had pictures for the first half of them, and then a few of the other ones, like, I had pictures throughout the week, and I just upload them, and it automatically posts those Instagram posts for me. This is amazing, guys. Like, it just opens up so much time for you to be able to pour into your coaches and your team, and it feels amazing. The second thing is, so that's Mondays, is to really schedule all of my posts in my Instagram. Tuesdays, my goal is to have calls with my team. So one-on-ones with you guys in the pockets that I have in my day on Tuesdays, whether that is after Bible study that night or during the day, during lunch, or just little pockets of time that I do have. I also try to, on those Tuesdays, send voice messages to all of my clients and just check in with them and see how they're doing. Wednesdays are really about pouring into my clients, and then also connecting with new people. So going through making sure that my inbox is at 0 for my Instagram messages and just really following up with people. Thursdays are all about my inbox for my Instagram and my email. So making sure that everything's at 0. I've followed up with people, all that good stuff. Friday is my creative day. So this is really the day that I sit down and I think about cool new things I want to do in my business, maybe decide on projects I want for my virtual assistant to work on for me. I think delegation for me has been huge in a way that I have also grown my business. So being able to think on new cool projects that I can do to start to add value to people and bring them in. And so I do that on Fridays because that's just works better for me, for my schedule and for my brain and all of those things. And then on Sunday, I typically do a brain dump. I'm not working on Sundays. I completely unplug on Sundays, but I typically just do a quick brain dump for the week. So that way when I head into Monday, I kind of have a game plan. So another thing that I do, just kind of a simple system, is every night, so like Tuesday night, last night, before bed, I make a quick little to-do for the next day. So this is for Wednesday, which was today, of just my schedule, what I've got going on, and then my top 3 things today. So you can see my top 3 thing was go live training for my team. Second thing was message everyone back on Instagram. And then third thing was email/post schedule for pursuing rest and team calendar. So those are really my 3 things that I want to get done today. And if I accomplish those, which I will, then I go into tonight with my family feeling, man, today was an amazing day. I got those 3 things in my business done, and I just feel so good. And so that's really important, making sure I have those systems. The other thing is like using things like the Power Hour Google form that are going to really help you kind of work your business smarter. And then when you leave your power hour, you're like, man, I did all the things today. And it just makes you feel really accomplished. And so having those systems, those things in your business that are going to help you show up, and that's what's going to help you get unstuck, is doing it even when you feel like you're stuck. So it's kind of like when you hit a plateau in your business, or your fitness. Like you don't just say, okay, I give up. No, like you keep showing up and eventually you overcome that plateau. And so a lot of times people just want to throw in the towel when they feel stuck, but the reality is you have to keep showing up. Now, the 4th thing is, are you consistently showing up? So kind of touched on that just a second ago, but like consistency is key in this business, guys. Like I had a really great conversation with Michelle and James one time, and we were just talking about, he met this woman at the bank and she was like, wow, you've been really successful in Beachbody. And he was like, we just showed up and we just didn't give up. And that is just the fact of the matter. Is like the reason that James and Michelle have been so successful in this business is because they have been consistent and they just keep showing up. And I just believe in the power of that consistency because I've seen it in my own business. People constantly say, how do you do it? Well, I'm telling you guys how to do it. I have systems. I show up consistently. I don't do some crazy amount of work. I'm not over here just like constantly slaving away. Like I have a life. I've got a full-time job. I have a family. But I delegate where necessary. And I make sure that I'm doing the top priorities first. And so it's really about balancing those things. You know, for me, I have delegated in the sense of having a housekeeper. That's $50 every 2 weeks. And I also delegate by having a virtual assistant who sends all of my Instagram messages, my thank yous, and my Instagram stories. And that helps me have more time to show up for Emmy, right? Like right now in my business, because I'm working a full-time job, I said to my husband, I am going to use some of that money and pay for these things. And so knowing where I need to kind of delegate, but being consistent in those things. And those things are not things that, would take me a whole lot of time, but it's that little bit of time every, little pockets. And that's going to help me be more present, because here's the thing I've learned. Anybody can clean my house. Anybody can send my Instagram messages. but not anybody can be Brian's wife and Amy's mommy. And so I have to find ways to invest in my business by delegating and then seeing that growth in my business. That was just a little extra thing. Number 5, are you plugged in and applying the trainings and the resources that this team has provided you? I'm not saying I'm a perfect leader, guys, because I am definitely not. Definitely not. But I try my hardest to provide resources for you guys that are going to help you move forward in your business. The Power Hour Worksheet, the Holy Hustle Academy, the Business Tracker, weekly team calls, trainings from other leaders and other teams, weekly and daily posts in the upLIFT tribe. Like, the Google Drive has tons of things, like Think If. Like, there are so many things that we have as a team that many teams do not have. But the thing that I see over and over and over and over and over again is that someone says, hey, Carolyn, I feel stuck. Okay, cool. Have you been plugged into the Facebook group? No. Have you gotten on Think If and dug into the extra resources? I paid someone to put that all together. I gave them all the content. They built it all out for me. But 90% of you guys don't even know exist. And you found out about it when you signed up, hopefully. But I think it's just that a lot of us believe we don't have the time. But again, it goes back to, are you being consistent and showing up? And you've got to know right now that there's 2 different personality types. And I'm just going to use me and Patrice as an example because it's easier to, because we all know Patrice and we all know me. But Patrice is very much a goal, 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 goal. And so she needs people to be like, all right, Patrice, keep that hustle holy. But then there's other people, and I'm really not like the best example because I can be like that too. But there's other people out there who are more focused on the, I'll do it later, or God will bring people to my front door. He's going to land smack dab on my porch. And, that for them, they need that hustle aspect of like, no, you can't just sit back and think that something's going to fall on your front porch. You got to hustle, hustle, hustle. And so really it's this balance. And I use Patrice as an example. I love you, Patrice, but you know where I'm at. Like, I'm that way too, but I can also be super lazy too. And so you've got to be in a place, guys, where you're like, hey, I am going to work hard for you, Jesus. Because guess what? If you haven't studied the Proverbs 31 woman, she worked hard. She got up before anybody in her family. She got up when it was still dark every single day. She got to work. She started, working and cleaning and washing before anybody's light was even on in the house. But yet so many times we think, I'll just wake up with the sun, life, I don't want to be stressed out. Guys, that's not the attitude we've got to have. We got to have that holy, God, I want to honor you and I want to pursue you and I'm going to give you my absolute best hustle. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's knowing where you tend to be in that spectrum. And so for some of you guys, you may have a hard time with that hustle side. And you've got to spend some time in the Word. And you've got to ask God for the discipline to show up and to be consistent. And then some of you guys, you may be too focused on the big goals. And you may need to say, hey, Lord, I need you to focus on that holy aspect of loving and serving my family first. And, all of those things. You guys know where I'm going with this. But if you're feeling stuck in the business, it's probably because either you're diluting who you are, you're not focused on others, and so it's leaving you feeling gross and icky and unauthentic. You don't have systems in your business. You aren't consistently showing up. So why would someone trust you? Yeah, you're going to feel stuck in the business because you're not consistently showing up. Or number 5, you're not plugged into any of the trainings and you're not applying them to your business. And so I really, truly believe that if you are feeling stuck, you need to ask yourself these questions. And if you are still feeling stuck after doing all these things, keep doing all these things. Because there's going to be bumps in the road, guys. It's just part of the process. So I want to pray for you guys really quick before we round out tonight's call. And again, just please, 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 if you have any questions, comment below. I am here to help you guys. I love you. I'm for you. I'm cheering for you. You're amazing. I've been where you are. Like, believe it or not, I think it's easy to compare yourself again to think, oh, Carolyn, I'm trying to do that, and dilute yourself, but also forget that we all start somewhere. And even people who come into this business and they have quick success, they may have been working in fitness for the past 2 years. And technically that's part of starting in a way, even if they didn't sign up to be a coach immediately. So just keep those things in mind. Let me pray. Heavenly Father God, you are so good, Lord. Thank you for this incredible team of women. God, I pray that they just saw my heart and, Lord, that you spoke through me in this training today, God. Maybe they're feeling stuck. Maybe they're not sure where to start. But God, if you have called us, you will equip us. But we also have to be willing to surrender. And so, God, I just pray for surrendered effort over these women, for a holy hustle. God, that they would just work hard for you. They would give their best, Lord. God, that we wouldn't just stop when we find one person, but that we would just continue to give our best and keep showing up, God. Lord, we love you so much, and we just thank you so much for the opportunity and the responsibility to get to serve others in health and fitness. Thank you for this incredible team. I just love them so much, and I hope that they feel loved and they know that they are just so supported and encouraged. And it's in your name I pray. Amen. All right, guys, have an amazing evening. I love you, and I'm here for you.